Okay, so now that we've gone over the rules, we're going to go through some practice problems. What I'm going to do first is just the left side of this column, so A, B, C, all the way down to F. If you want to pause the video and work these out on your own and then check them, that's more than fine. I am going to stop recording this section after that left-hand side, and then I'm going to make a new video for the right-hand side so that it's kind of broken up a little bit. So for A, starting very simple, I have -3 squared. So that's telling me to do -3 times -3. So if I write that out, two negatives make a positive, so my answer is going to be +9. What we want to be careful about is if we see problems like this, notice that the 3 and the negative sign are both in my parentheses. So I'm squaring both of those pieces. So I have a negative number times a negative number. You have a problem similar to this on your homework. It's going to be written like this, and you have some that may be written like this. The difference here is that I don't have any parentheses. So my exponent is only attached to the 3. So the only thing I'm squaring is 3. So I have 3 times 3, which is 9. So that's telling me I'm doing 3 times 3, which is 9. But then I have that negative sign out front that didn't get squared, so I'm just going to bring that all the way down. So just keep the difference in mind because you have one of each of those that you're going to work on your homework. Part B, now I have 3 times 4 squared. We only want to go one step at a time, so I don't see any grouping symbols. I have my exponents, so I'm going to take care of my 4 squared, that's going to give me 16, and then bring down whatever we didn't use. So I didn't use my multiplication sign or my 3. Now I'm going to multiply 3 times 16, that's going to give me 48. Make sure you are doing these in your head, you're not using your calculator. 3 times 10 was 30, 3 times 16 is 18, 30 times 18 gave me the 48. Okay, for C, no grouping symbols, but I see 2 exponents. So I'm going to take care of both of those. 8 squared is 64, because that's telling me to do 8 times 8. I hate this. Okay, 64. 5 squared is 25. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring everything else down that I haven't used yet. I didn't multiply by 8, I didn't use my minus sign, and I didn't multiply by 4. So now I have multiplication and subtraction. Multiplication always comes before subtraction, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of both of my multiplication parts. So I'm going to do 8 times 64. If you don't know what that is in your head, perfectly okay to go through and do some scratch work. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 8 times 64. I know 8 times 6 is 48. Add the 0 because it's 60. So then I know 8 times 4 is 32. If I add those together, I get 512. So I get 512 minus 4 times 25 is 100. And then if I subtract those out, I'm going to end up getting 412. Make sure that as we get more complicated here, you're taking your time, you're only simplifying one step at a time, and you're always bringing down everything that you haven't used yet. For part D, I have 4 divided by 2 times 2 plus 6 minus 3. So I have division and multiplication. Again, I cannot always do multiplication first. I have to do whichever one is written first. So in this case, I have to take care of my 4 divided by 2. That's going to give me 2. And then I'm just bringing everything else down, making sure I'm only doing one step at a time. Take care of my multiplication. 2 times 2. Bring everything else down. Now I have addition and subtraction. Not always doing addition first, always left to right. In this case, that is the addition. 4 plus 6 is 10. Bring down my minus 3 to make sure my final answer I get is 7. For part E, I have my grouping symbols, so I'm going to take care of that first. I have -80 times 1/4. Anytime I'm multiplying something by a fraction, it's the same as dividing. So 180 times 1/4 is the same as 180 divided by 4. I have a positive number divided by, I have a negative number divided by a positive number. So I know that that means my answer is going to be negative. So now I just have to do some work. I'm not positive what 180 divided by 4 is. So again, perfectly okay to go through and do some scratch work. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to subtract that. and I get 2. Bring down my 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So 180 divided by 4 is 45. And again, it was a negative divided by a positive, which always makes my answer negative. Bring down everything else I haven't used yet, so I didn't do my dividing by 5. Negative divided by positive is always negative. 45 divided by 5 is 9. And then our last one in this video, no grouping symbols, but I do have an exponent, so I'm going to take care of that. 2 squared is 4, and then bring everything else down. Again, as they get more complicated, you need to make sure you're doing one step at a time, carrying everything down as we go. No more exponents, so now I have multiplication and division. Always move right to left. So I'm going to take care of this first. 4 times 3. I'm going to switch to a white pen so we can see a little better. 4 times 3 is 12. And then I'm going to bring down everything I didn't use yet and just keep starting over right to left. So now I still have some division and some multiplication. Moving right to left, the next one that shows up is 8 divided by 4. So I want to make sure I'm simplifying that out first. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Bring everything else down. And then my last one, 2 times 4, that's 8. Bring everything else down. So to finish it up, I have 12 plus 8, which makes my final answer 20. Okay, so there you have it for your first video of orders operation. So now if you want to try to work out these ones on the right on your own, and then once you get those, you can check the second video I post to see if you got them right.